call this meeting of the County Commissioners to order. Please join us with the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks everybody for being here today. We will begin with the approval of our minutes from the October 18 meeting.
Move to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve the minutes for the October 18 meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. First up is the Animal Shelter Director, Dave Rickman. Dave, do you have a 144 request today?
Yes, I have a 144 request to hire Dylan. I know his last name. I just went blank. Yeah, I'm in trouble now, ain't I?
Or it doesn't have a name, does it? It just says
The
animal warden.
name is not on this 144 request.
It's Dylan Markham. There we go. Had to think there for a minute. Sorry.
Dylan Markham.
Yes. He's 24 years old. He's been volunteering up there for a little while, and he's done a good job. So, and since Bailey quit last Tuesday on me, so
Okay, you had an employee quit.
yes.
I did not know that. And you say Dylan Markham has been a volunteer?
Yes. He's been doing a good job up there. I also want to thank the county highway for getting our roads all done, and all got our signs up and everything, and it looks good. And people are just bragging about it too, so we want to say thank you to them and you guys for getting it approved.
Jay's the one that got all that done for you. Thank him. As soon as you get some ice on that hill, you can call him too.
Yeah, I probably will.
I'll move to approve Dylan Markham.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve the hire of Dylan Markham as animal warden. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane.
Thank you guys.
Okay, you need anything else, David?
Well, I might need it, but I can work with it right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. IT Director, Michael King. Michael, you got some things for us on the MetroNet contract?
This is for the tourism board. They need to get a phone number. Primarily they're getting a phone number and voicemail. They're getting a phone for the occasional use, but primarily it's just for the phone number and the voicemail so that they can put on brochures, that kind of thing. So I just need to get approval for that. It's going to cost $12.95 a month. I just need to get board approval for that, so I can get that processed and get going.
Yes, I do know that they, before they have their brochures printed, they do want a phone number to put on there. Is it,
Yeah.
voicemails can be left at.
Yeah, and basically, even if they're not using the phone very often, the voicemails will come in and it'll email the voicemail message to them and they can reply however they want. They can use the cell phone or the phone or whatever. That'll be up to them.
Move to approve the MetroNet contract with the tourism board.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve the contract agreement with MetroNet to provide a phone number for the Fayette County Tourism Board. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. You bring anything else, Michael?
The only other thing I've got is to forewarn you that next meeting I will have some quotes possibly for the courts to update their sound equipment. I got one quote. They were here a couple weeks ago to look at the equipment from BIS Digital. And I literally just received their quote 15 minutes ago, so I haven't had a chance to open the email and look at it yet. So I've been waiting for that quote. The problem is it's one of those specialty kind of vendors. I'm not even sure that I'll be able to get comparison quotes for it in time for the next meeting, so I'm not sure how that'll work out. But I thought I'd at least warn you that that's something I'm trying to work on to use the money before the end of the year. Because I did have that budgeted for something as a project this year. So that's to replace the hard of hearing devices in both courtrooms, the amplifiers, and the device is called Crestron, but it's basically the device right there by Jane that controls the microphones and the speakers. So the judges use them to mute the microphones, that kind of thing. So
I think I'd be all in favor of that. 'Cause I'm not in those courtrooms very often, but I have a heck of a time hearing in there. It may be partly me, I'm sure, but
partly, I think it's, those rooms, I don't think were very well designed for a modern courtroom, the way the rooms were set up, acoustically. And they don't, the circuit court seems like it echoes really well, almost too well. It echoes and echoes and echoes, and then the other one doesn't seem like it carries sound very well at all. I'm sure Jeff and Judge will attest to that much better than I will. So, and then when you have the speakers and microphones actually come on and work, they seem like they feedback or they don't reinforce very well. So hopefully if we can get those up there and get that stuff updated, we can get that improved somewhat. So, but once I get that quote looked at and see where we're at, I'll see what we can do. So, but I just wanted to warn you that was in the pipe. So
okay.
that's all I need you for.
Now I got one for you.
Huh?
We have I think a short Zoom meeting scheduled for this Thursday at 11 a.m. with Spyglass.
Okay.
And I was sent an invite to that meeting, and I've tried to forward that to you, and it will not let me forward it to you. So if possible, if you could find time in your schedule to join us on that on Thursday morning at 11 a.m.
Okay. Assuming there's no craziness going up, I'll plan to be here.
Okay.
At the very least, I'll make sure the room's ready for you.
Well, they're going to have some questions that I certainly can't answer. That's in your
Yeah.
category.
Yeah. Assuming there's no disasters, I'll plan to be here.
Okay.
So
All right, we'll put Thursday at 11 a.m. on your calendar.
I obviously can't plan for disasters, but I'll plan to be here for the meeting.
Okay.
So
All right, thanks, Michael. Okay, Nisha Wicker, representing Fayette County Public Transit, is here for quarterly claims approval. Nisha, good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll try to be quiet with my keys. Good afternoon. Thank you for having us one more time. I hope we're back again soon. I'm coming today to request the grant funds for our quarter from NDOT. Unfortunately, today I do not have the claim forms as the representative from NDOT has been out of the office. It's not due until the 15th, so Jalissa said she would get that to you back for your autographs before the 15th, if that's permissible. I've got that grant, and I've got 2 discretionary grants. One was for to upgrade our dispatch equipment where we had monitors installed and goes with our Shaw dispatch equipment. It's very helpful. We've had that for several months now. The other was for some shop equipment, cleaning. It was a vacuum and some, a wet dry vac to vacuum our VMs. Give you a little update on what transportation's been doing. Our ridership is up by at least 600 riders in the last quarter, which is major for us. COVID kind of put a gouge in everything. I will say that FTA has lifted all COVID restrictions to this point. We still see a few cases. I even still have some drivers that come up with COVID every now and then. I think it's just a sign of our time, huh? Our most recent and my proud moment is we survived our NDOT review for 2022, something that we get every 4 years. It was my first one. Yes, it was an adventure. It is complete up to the point of we still need one contract signed by IU Med, who provides our physicals for our incoming drivers. That's been a holdup, and Mr. Jennings from NDOT is working with them to get that. Then we hope to get our letter, and we'll be good for another 4 years. If you all have any questions, I'll do my best.
No questions? Okay. Now, Nisha, on your claims,
Yes,
say,
I have what I have here.
okay, your total document is due on the 15th?
Yes, sir.
All right.
It's been submitted, but it requires your signatures. We're waiting on Jennings to get it back.
Okay, our next meeting is on the 15th.
Okay.
So,
Actually, it would just, I believe, require your signature, wouldn't it? That's the way I'm understanding it.
Jolisa emailed, as long as you approve the dollar amounts in this meeting, then as soon as she gets the claim form, you can go ahead and sign it. Like it won't have to come
If I
back to
may.
another meeting.
all right, do you have the dollar amounts?
Here's this one. These are the discretionary funds. This. Here's this.
Nisha,
Yes,
come back over here a minute, please. This local share, is that the approval you need? 30,625,
yes. That's 725, 675. I think.
675.
Yeah.
And on this one, $99 and 1708. Okay. All right.
And you
We
can keep those.
can take care of that here in just a second.
There's the email that Jalissa had emailed me.
Okay, I was expecting much larger figures.
Well,
Says the main claim was 121,189. Okay, so we don't need to approve the federal and state
no.
figures, okay.
A lot of it has to do with the CARES Act. That's why things are so backwards.
Yeah,
That's what she had told me.
okay, as long as we approve the right things here today,
Yes, please do.
we'll take care of it,
That's all I need.
yeah.
To need 1,000 and get $10, that'd be very cool.
So you don't know when Mr. Jennings will be back?
He's out through today. No, the 3rd, I'm sorry. What's today? 1st?
Yeah,
The 3rd. He's out the rest of the week.
okay.
So I just need to make a motion to approve these amounts?
Yeah, we want to approve the amounts that are marked on
All
the
right.
local matches.
All right. So we'll make a motion to approve these amounts for the transit, rural transit, for $1,708. And they're both numbered, looks like the same, so there's no difference in these. And then there's one for $99. And then this one is for a total amount of $30,675.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale, to approve quarterly claims from Fayette County Transit in the amount of $30,675, $99, and $1,708. Any further question? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. There you go. Sal, you need one signature then on this, on the final form when you get it.
Yes.
Okay.
And Jalissa will get that to you.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, I'll watch for
Great, thank you.
it. Okay, well, thanks, Monica. 911 Director Kelly Van Meter is here today with a 144 request. Kelly, how are you?
I actually got the sheet. I feel pretty good about that. So we hired Caden Davis, and then he got a torn retina. The doctor's not letting him back to work, so we lost him. Is why it's kind of came back again. We're hiring another girl. Malia Dye, she's actually a recommendation from Jason Cloyd's class out of the vocational school. So he had gotten a hold of me telling me that he thinks that she'd be a good fit over at 911. And I interviewed her, and she's really first impression, she seems to be a super gal to, from his class to 911. She's pretty excited to be into the 911 world, so I'm gonna take the chance, and like I said, Jason gave his blessings to hire her. Along the lines of hiring, I am gonna say that, again, between now and possibly the next budget year, I really want to explore a full-timer in that department. We've got 5. And I really, really would like to see a 6th full-timer dispatcher, just because we are once again doing a lot of training. I mean, I feel like I've been over here numerous times with the 144, hiring. One of our part-timers, he was a full-time here, and then he dropped to part-time. He went to Rushville here recently as full-time, as they hire in at 40,000. So, I mean, you can't blame him for going over to Rush County. And I understand funding here, gets a little sketchy. I get that. But really, this whole revolving door, it makes it hard. It's not that we don't want to train. It's not that we don't want to do that, but it makes it hard to keep structure in 911. We train these people only to have them either leave, or they don't want to work. They want set hours. I mean, we've got some part-timers over there right now that they end up getting another full-time job that's day shift. Like, there's a girl over there right now, she ended up getting a Monday through Friday job, full-time, and then she can just do when she's available, which is maybe a day or 2 here and there, to work 911 now, and that don't work. I mean, it works for, the time that she comes in, but I mean, we're all working. I mean, and again, my job is to help too, and I don't mind that, but like this week, I'm slammed. I have a state IDAX audit tomorrow all day. I have other things that my job in the office, here at the end of the year, and certain times of the year, I'm committed in the office, and so it makes it hard to work a 3rd shift. you know, and work all the weekends and then try to come in on a Monday morning to where I've gotta face something too. And I'm not complaining, I love my job, but again, overall, we end up training 1 million people only to end up with 2 solid part-timers maybe, and yet they do all the work. You know, they do all the part-time, they never have a day off. We have to stick them everywhere. We've got people, you know, the full-time has a right to to vacation and time off. And then we don't have anybody to fill those spots unless somebody picks up hours, which is either overtime, you know, everybody working to death. And we just can't find structure in that. Also, when we bring in a part-timer and we get them trained, here we've got, say, a structure fire or a huge field fire. We've had these been going on here this year already. The agencies, they're not aggravated at us, but they're needing, you know, our guidance during these calls. So we've got a real good seasoned dispatcher in there, and we've got a person in the second chair that's good to sit in the second chair, but she's still kind of new, and now we've got this extreme call. So you've got the veteran dispatcher that's doing pretty much 2 jobs, because she's got to stay on it with this structure fire, but she's also got to kind of watch what the new person's doing, because that's all we've got, our new people. So I really, and I'm just kind of given a, you know, a backdrop of why I, over the next few months and next budget, I'm going to try to seek out a 6th dispatcher to keep a better, because, you know, when you're full-time, you're bound by something. Part-time, you're bound by nothing. And I really think that until we do this, you know, we just can't find structure in that positions over there.
So what is your current, you have 5 full-time?
Uh-huh. And I would be considered the 6th, and like I said, like this past Saturday, I worked a 4P to 2A shift. I worked 6 to 4 Friday on the radio. I mean, I do not care to do that. I don't care. I mean, I need to be on the radio to keep myself together on the radio so that I know what my people are doing too. That's not the issue. But the issue is I can't always be on the radio, and there's a lot of times that we don't have either enough part-time, or again, here I am again asking for a new part-timer, so we're back to square one trying to get another part-timer trained again.
How many part-timers do you have?
Right now,
3.
and this will be the 4th, and like I said, 2 of the part-timers, they're like never really available. One of my part-timers just got a UPS part-time job, so now we're gonna have to compete with UPS. It's starting to be a struggle. And here we got the holidays coming up, and yes, I can tell people, no, you can't have stuff off, but I'm not like that. I don't like that. If I have to work a holiday, I will, because these people have children, small. I don't have small children. So that's, you know, but I'm just saying, it's just starting to be tough over there. For the agencies that are fighting the fires, that are out of the accident scenes, you know, it's a struggle for them to call into dispatch, and the new person that is just now graduated into that second chair, this might be their first big call since being in that chair, which they are able to be in the chair, but again, that veteran dispatcher is still having to kind of babysit. They're still trying to watch to make sure that they're, you know, calling a helicopter, that they're doing what, you know, it's a teamwork. And so that makes that veteran dispatcher still try to, so if we get somebody in there that's more structured, you know, solid, I think, you know, it would be better. Because like I said, your part-timers come and go too easy. They're too easy to say, I don't want to come in today. I don't want to do it. Where your part-timers have to be bound a little bit differently. So as my commissioners, I'm just kind of giving you my overview on that for the forthcoming months of what I may.
It sounds like employee retainage is one of your biggest.
It is. I mean, and like I said, I'm real, you know, I'm not like angry about it. We manage over there. I've got a great crew of full-timers, and the part-timers that I do have that have gotten into the second chair, they're great. But there, you know, there's one girl between the 2 pay periods, she's managed to work 16 days in a row. I mean, how can you expect somebody to do that? but she has. She's come in on a little 4 to 8, a little 4-hour shift here and there. She's got kids. How can you do that? That's ridiculous. But she's like, I'll come and cover the shift because somebody else has already worked 12 hours that day. It's ridiculous. She's been the only one working because of other part-timers calling off, or somebody else has already worked. So yeah, it's just getting ridiculous is what it is. And this is an agency, the 911 center has been like this. It's nothing new. It's just a job that's not for everybody. And then, like I said, once they get in there, they're great. But then, for some reason, they move on. It's just one of them things that happens on part-time especially. So we're going to work on it. And like I said, it can't happen overnight. Just something that we're going to work on. See what we can do.
Okay, well, thanks for that update, Kelly.
Yep.
As far as your 144 is concerned,
Will you approve?
I'll second that.
okay, we've got a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve 144 request by the 911 department for the hire of is it Malia?
It's Malia. It's Malia.
Malia Dye. Any further question?
I got one. How old is she?
She's 19.
Okay.
She's graduated out of Jason's class. So,
Any more questions?
Then she'll go through the training then too.
yes. Oh, absolutely. What's really good with this, though, I will tell you, not to, Jason's really got it going on out there. I actually went out there and did a presentation in his class. He asked me to go out there and do like a pre-911 type thing. And first of all, you have to have your parents' permission and signature to do that class because of all the material you get to see. Jason actually shows them accident scenes with catastrophic results to those kids out there. So there's that. But they hear a lot of things that go on in his class that normal people on the streets don't hear, that we hear on our jobs. But again, the interview went really well, and I mean, she's already halfway acclimated, halfway there. Now we're not gonna take away from training her, how we always do, but I like the fact that she is already, through Jason, been kind of in our world already. So I really think he's doing a good job out there with that, from what she came in, the interview went well. I was really impressed with what her knowledge was already.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. Okay, thank you, Kelly.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Is Matt Shirk here? Oh, there you are, I couldn't see you.
He's a little guy, so hard to see. I also came with a 144 for a part-time RN nurse at the health department. Tammy Beener. She would just be filling in our clinics. We're getting ready to lose one to Florida, so she'll just be in our rotation of part-time nurses that help with our clinics. Would be paid through a grant, so it would be a grant-paid position.
I think you've hired more people this year than anybody else.
We've been busy and we're still busy, so we just had a big rush after lunch for COVID shots, and it was a nice little rush. So we continue to have a good bit of COVID vaccine going on, and we're also doing flu shots now daily. So we are staying busy.
Is the COVID kind of up, down, staying level, or do you have any ideas?
I haven't been following it like I was, but we still see quite a bit of it. It's going to be a regular part of our lives, it seems like. So we still do see quite a bit of COVID.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the 144 request for Tammy Beener.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale, to approve the 144 request by the health department for the hire of public health nurse Tammy Beener.
Mm-hmm. From what I understand, yeah. I think that's
Okay.
how to pronounce it correctly.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 3 ayes, Jane. before you take off, Matt, do you have an ample supply of the current up-to-date COVID vaccines?
We ran out earlier in the week, but we got a new shipment 2 days ago, so we try to keep a good supply. So we do have a supply. It just was in transport. We were actually gave more shots than we expected, I guess. So we had to hurry up and order, and we had to reschedule a few appointments, but we're keeping everybody. I think getting everybody their shots. So.
Good.
So.
And your vaccination days are?
Monday through Friday, so we're doing them every day.
Okay, Monday through Friday.
You can call the COVID, you can schedule online, or we are doing walk-ins as well. And then the flu shots the same way, you can call or walk in. So we try, that's why I have the part-time nurses. We run through our rotation of them where we have somebody there all the time. We are closed from 12 to 1 for lunch, so we stop scheduling at 11:45 for lunch. And then we're there we're there later on Wednesdays, of course, but every other day. We give shots up to about 3:45, and then Wednesday 4:45.
Okay, I hope everyone listening to today's meeting will.
Yeah, definitely come see us. The flu shots, you know, a lot of people didn't get them the last year or two. It's very important to get your flu shot as well as COVID. So. And we can do both at the same time. So.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. I don't see anyone here from the sheriff's department, but the sheriff sent an email earlier today, about an interlocal agreement between us and the school. In my email, there was no attached.
Right.
I haven't seen it, so we'll just have to send him a note and tell him that we'll take that up when we can be given an opportunity to actually read it, and we'll have to have the county attorney review that. Okay. Highway Department, Jay, do you have anything today?
Good afternoon. I just wanted to remind you, we have that demonstration tomorrow at 1 o'clock down in Greensburg at the Highway Department. I think it's on Base Road, I think is what the address, I don't remember the address, but
It's at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Okay. What time you plan on leaving?
I'll leave here at 11:30 because I'll be taking 2 operators down, or I'll send another truck with 2 operators and more send it. If anybody wants to ride with me, they can.
Okay.
I figure it takes an hour and 15 minutes to get there, and then by the time I find the garage, it might be a little longer. I've never been to it before.
Okay. If nothing happens, I'm gonna try to go with you. But
It ought to be interesting because
right now, I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. But I did share the spec sheet you gave me earlier today with these two. And if we're gonna consider spending over $200,000 on a piece of equipment, I'd feel better seeing it demonstrated before we bought it, you know?
yeah, so would I. Make sure it's going to do what we want it to do.
One thing's for sure though, our brush cutting equipment is out of date.
Yep.
You know, we got a lot of catching up we need to do. We could just about wear that thing out.
Yeah, and the bad part is it's going to take 7 months to get it.
7 months to get
Yeah,
it.
I've got the other one over at McCombs is over there, and they're going to try to fix the deck or the arm good enough to get us by till we get something different. But they ain't gonna guarantee how long it'll hold that, because it takes a lot of beating out there. Right, we had two arms come together. It's hard. It's hard on it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that arm's under a lot of stress.
Yeah. We're going to finish our paving tomorrow. We had some spots up in Posey we wanted to do some strip patching. And one of the roads they was using went on the bypass. It was coming down 600, and they just broke it up all over the place down in there. And we went up with binder to see if we can fix it back, make sure it lasts through the winter. But we'll get that done tomorrow. Well, they'll get it done tomorrow.
Yeah, that neighborhood's getting a lot of heavy truck traffic right
Yeah.
now anyhow.
And the two new guys, they seem to be working pretty good. They're fitting right in. And I think there'll be a good plus down there.
Good.
And they're glad to be there, so that's a plus right there on some. And we was gonna fix those blowholes out by the cemetery out there in Springerville, alongside the road. Have you seen them?
No.
Where they put the big tile in the ditch line down through there. And we got over to get the parts for it and found out we didn't have an account over there to get the parts, so I had to go set an account up, and we're waiting to get all that done, then we'll go back out and finish it.
Is it a drainage tile?
Yeah, it's a tile that comes from the intersection and goes down alongside the cemetery. I don't remember what, I remember it was put in, I don't remember why they put it in, but it's one probably, have you seen that? It's probably 24 or bigger. It's a pretty good size black plastic. And it's just blowed in two, and they left one spot open, and a person could step into it and really hurt themselves, you don't care. And with kids out there, you gotta do something with it, so.
Yeah. I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, I knew about it, we just hadn't got out there to get it done. And there's a couple on the other side of the road where they've done a clay tile down through the ditch line and filled the ditch line in. And it's got about 4 blowholes in it. So we're gonna look at it too while we're out there. Cause ain't no sense somebody getting hurt.
Right.
That's about all I have right now.
Okay. Anybody got any questions for Jay?
Has anybody told you the dead end sign there at 650, it goes back to the Stivers, the dead end? Somebody's mowed it off, it's gone. It's landed, but it's flat.
They mowed it off.
Well, they ran over it. I don't know what it is, but it's flat. I seen it yesterday, so.
Okay, I'll get him out there to get a look at it.
Was he able to do anything with that bridge sign there at 550 and there at Francie Wilhelm's?
I don't know if he's been up there on that. He was been working on the one over on 350 East over there that they run over and bent it double. He has to put a whole new sign up over there. I'll remind him about it.
That's all I got.
You can't run off the road anywhere these days without hitting a sign. There's so many of them, you know. Anything else? Tracy, you got anything? Thanks for coming in, Jay.
No problem.
Surveyor Bill Mackey. Bill, do you have anything for us today?
Yeah, Bruce Spires, who does our community crossings now, he called me and wanted me to remind you guys, you need to be thinking about roads for next year's call, already, because it's coming, be coming up here in the next couple, 3 months, so he would like to have you, and then when you get ready, we can set up a time and he can come in and go over that like we usually do, but he just wanted a reminder that, I know the other just got done, but it's never ending, so. And also, I know you go through this every year, but they do 10-year plans for community crossing stuff. They have a plan for the next 10 years, because community crossings, I believe this is the 7th year, and it's a 20-year program. If you'd like, I could have, when he comes in for that, either he or somebody else from Butler Fairman could actually talk to you about what's involved in it and everything, of how, what you want to do. That way you don't have to, because I'm sure they charge every year, that he comes down here to do this, and if they do a 10-year plan, I'm not sure what the cost. I think it's more how involved it gets, how much you want, but if you want him to, or whoever's involved in that, in Butler Fairman, to actually just explain it better, when he comes down, that way, because, the future commissioners, I mean, you all may be here next 10 years, it's probably not bad to have a plan, and then it's adjustable. I mean, if something comes up, you can move stuff in and out, but at least by the Pacer, basically that's how it's, everything's planned. So I can do that too, have him set something up for that. And then also, you can actually do bridges on community crossing now. The last 3-4 years, you're allowed to do bridges, and they never turn them down because not that many really do them in the state. What it involves is the community crossing money would only pay for the construction end. I would have to get the bridge out of Cume Bridge, I would get the bridge designed, and then inspection I would pay out of Cume Bridge, and then construction would be paid out of community crossings. And I've got one bridge right now looking at, I mean, with your guys' blessing, I mean, we have signed a contract and all that, it's 2 years out. It would be 24 would be pushing it, at the 25 would be more realistic to do a bridge. $700,000 for construction, that way we don't use the whole 1.3 million. Because if I go federal aid on something that, you know, it's 6 years out from if you get it. Just like Bridge 32 I got approved for the funding on that in 2020, and it's not going to be built until 26. So if we go federal aid, it just takes so much more time, and I'm trying to pick the least expensive one, and design won't be as much as a federal aid bridge, and neither will inspection, because the rules are a little different, because this is going through that program instead of the federal highway. So it's a little more cheap, reasonable on the design and the inspection than it would be a federal aid bridge. And the only part that community cross can pay for is the construction anyway. So, you know, I'd like to maybe some point in time possibly do that. But they need a year to design a bridge regardless. So 25 would probably be the most realistic, earliest. I wouldn't want to do one for 26 because that's when I'm having 32 built. So, you know, I just thought I'd bring that up. But as far as I know, if it's a needed bridge, which are, you know, they don't turn them down. The lady in charge, I've talked to her, and she actually gets upset because most counties don't do bridges. And you get 18 months to build them. It's not like it has to be done in one construction season, so you get a year and a half even to do them. So I just put that on the radar, you know.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
If we included a bridge replacement in our community crossings request, is that in addition to the paving and resurfacing?
Well, no,
or is
you would get your normal 1.33 million or whatever, and I would just use whatever the construction would be of it, and then there would still be $600,000 left over for the paving. You wouldn't be able to get additional money. You would have to use part of that,
Okay.
what your the award is. So that's why I want to do. I've got a couple smaller bridges that, you know, aren't the $2 million bridges that's going, you know, up here on Waterloo Road. I don't want to do one of those, but there are a couple smaller ones that are on the endangered list that
We would be limited to a maximum $1 million community crossings grant, whether it be a bridge or whether it be resurfaced.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, think about the roads you said, and then if you want to think about changing your plan, you know, they can have somebody explain it better and how it all works. And we are on track to open the bridge in 2 weeks. Everything goes well, maybe a day or two early, we don't know. But right now they're on track to open it. So.
Okay. Well, that's, by mid-December, we should meet with Bruce Spires and include Bill and Jay both and pick out our community crossings projects for next year, because Joe Lisa will want to make this application in January. So, Bill, could you send Bruce Spires a message and tell him, give us some dates when he could come down between now and mid-December, so that we can get together and have this meeting and
In mid-December, okay.
pick out our 2023 projects.
Okay. Do you want to do a regular meeting or do you want to have a special meeting?
We've always done it special before because,
Okay. Yeah,
you know,
okay. I can do that.
And Jay, if you can help us give us some choices or where we really need the most help, you know?
I got a couple that they got a lot of complaints about, so I'll turn them up.
Okay. All right, well, let us know what Bruce says. Okay? Judge Freed is here. Judge, sorry to keep you waiting.
No,
Your
sir.
your name is down here at the bottom of the list of the agenda. I don't know how that happened.
That's fine. Real quick, in seconds. I think the clerk maybe transmitted to Tracy a recent threat to the staff and building here in the courthouse. I'm not really here for that in particular. It's just the most recent thing. This has happened many times. The level of mental illness, unfortunately, in the community is absolutely off the charts presently. I think it's driven largely by the methamphetamine surge, which tends to push people who are maybe a little bit on the edge anyway, all the way off the edge. But the most recent threat was to kill everybody that was involved in his previous prosecution and blow up the building. So just so you know, I have to budget for some repairs. If he gets out, he's in the state pen in Kentucky right now, but he's parole eligible. We get this kind of stuff all the time. People acting like madmen in the halls, guys just manic, 35-year-old men standing on their head in the hallway outside my courtroom, people jumping down the banister. I mean, I'm talking about grown men, not kids. All right, jumping down banisters just in high as a kite. And you can talk to any of your officers in the sheriff's department or the city. When these guys are amped up on that methamphetamine, they don't have any limits. Everybody's 8 foot tall and bulletproof. They'll fight you. They don't care if you weigh 3 times what they weigh. They'll come right at your throat. It's a madhouse of security deficiencies in here right now. Something eventually is going to happen. This fellow made a mistake. I'm not too concerned about him because that idiotic 3-page manifesto he sent to the clerk while he's still in jail and parole eligible is going to get forwarded, guess what, to the Kentucky State Parole Board by yours truly. So I'm hoping that that will be sufficient to stymie his parole. But nevertheless, the point is made. So I just want to join in the clerk and the other court and say there's an inevitable disaster. It's going to happen in this building. I had a fellow disapprove the point, which should surprise no one, showed up to my court for a wedding a couple weeks ago, right after the constitutional carry law came into effect. And I knew of this kid. I kind of knew who he was. He's no trouble at all. Nice gentleman, actually. But I stand up on the bench when I do the weddings, and so I see right down the front of the bench, and the bride and groom stand there near the bench. I see he's got a 1911 stuck down the front of his pants with the handle hanging out. And which would have been concerning if I wasn't vaguely aware of who he was. I said, that constitutional carry thing is a good deal, huh? He goes, yeah, I love that. How about that? And I said, yeah, you still can't carry in a courthouse, son. Here's the deal. I'm going to go ahead and marry you, and then you're going to get out of this building and not stop and talk to anybody or use the bathroom or anything else. So the point of that is not that I was ever felt in danger because of the particular person involved here, but the public's misunderstanding about the courthouse is still off limits for firearms. And the fact that a person can blatantly, in a t-shirt, a great big full, not a commander version, full-size service version 1911, chrome, sticking out the front of his pants. Just casually walk up the stairs, into the building, through the hall, push the button on the elevator, stand around, wait for the elevator, come up the elevator, sit around in the hall, and get all the way literally 6 inches from my bench with a loaded firearm, and no one noticed or intervened whatsoever, which is predictable. Who would? Who wouldn't have been? One of my staff happens to see it when they're going to the restroom and encounters him in the hallway, something like that. I don't know. It just proves the point. If he had been a hostile person, he could have shot me right in the head. No chance. My gun's in my pocket. I always carry them all the time. I'm loaded, one in the chamber, ready to go. But he gets me first in that scenario. I'm dead. He shoots me right off my own bench. Proof positive. You can get to within 6 inches of my bench with a loaded firearm anytime you want. No one's going to stop you. So that's it. Something's got to be done.
Are you sure you want to advertise that in a public meeting, Judge?
What? Oh, well, there's no one to stop you. It'd just be obvious. I'm just stating the obvious. Who would stop you? Some good and faithful citizen, I suppose, that wanted to intervene on behalf of justice, I suppose, might tackle somebody that was coming at me. But other than that, that's our security plan. if I can get my gun out of my pocket fast enough, or if somebody wants to help me, that happens to be decent, wants to risk their life to help me, that's the president's security plan around here. Unacceptable. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. County Attorney, Mr. Wesling, do you have anything for us today?
I do not.
That's usually a good thing.
That's usually a good thing.
We had a council member here who's left. Mail, does anybody have any mail they want to share?
I don't.
Okay. You have anything under old business?
You got the solar gentleman sitting back here. I don't know if he's got anything or not.
Did you have anything for us today?
No, just here to say hi.
Okay. Have anything under old business?
I don't.
There's one thing I will bring up under old business. If you remember, we've had a current contract with ZW Painting to do a paint job for us, and in the contract we have with this fellow, his work was to be completed by October the 31st, which was yesterday. He's never reported for work. So under these circumstances, Mr. Attorney, what do you recommend? Would you recommend that we contact him through your office and alert him to the fact that his time has expired on this agreement? And the penalties then included in the contract agreement are now in effect.
That's right. I'll be happy to send him a letter.
Okay. All right, I'll get with you on that.
Absolutely.
That's all I have under old business. I mean, if that's, what do you think? What do you want to do with this?
Let him send a letter.
Okay.
Are we able to pursue another, while this is still, we can go ahead?
The other option is you can absolutely go and hire somebody else, and then I'll have a problem getting us out of that if he hasn't done anything. Time's expired.
Okay. Well, we'll see where all that goes.
Do you want me to, I guess just for some direction, if he does contact me, do you want me to advise him that your preference is for him to begin and complete work immediately?
Well, I think our preference was always to just get the job done and be done with it, you know?
Sure.
We've been dealing with this for a couple of years. So,
If memory serves me correct, we initially had a contract when he just didn't enter into it and didn't seem to care. And then a few months later, he became very, very interested in it. And then he disappeared again.
yeah.
So he's broken kind of 2 times, 2 years worth of time.
Yeah. Well, I think we've been patient. We'll see what you can do with that. Under new business, we have our proposed 2023 payroll schedule that the county auditor sent out the other day. And here's a paper copy.
It's the same. I just did 2, so if they wanted to pass one.
I've already marked my calendar.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve the 2023 payroll schedule as presented by the auditor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. Now you will need one of these here signed, so we'll take care of that in a little bit. Did you have a request from the Community Voices organization to use the,
Yes, it was in an email to, I thought, all three of you. From Stephanie Ruff. It was titled Winterfest.
that was,
Yeah, that's the same email I was referring to.
okay, I didn't know that the Community Voices was part of the Winterfest celebration.
Yes.
Now, did I understand correctly, they really haven't,
They don't have a plan for exactly what they would be doing with the courthouse lawn. They just wanted permission to use it so they could make a plan.
oh, okay. Did you read the same email I did?
And the snowflakes, they're getting snowflakes and some kind of light to put in the windows, courthouse windows.
Yeah.
It's just for that weekend, right? The Winterfest weekend, 2nd and 3rd.
That's my understanding. They don't really have a real plan in place yet. So you want to give them permission to use the front yard or not?
I think it sounds good. Good idea.
I'll second.
Okay.
What was the motion?
We have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale to allow the Community Voices Group organizers of this year's Winterfest to use the courthouse lawn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. Okay. Anyone have anything else under new business? Jane, do you have anything? Jeff? All right. Patron concerns. See Cam Sparks is here. Cam, do you have anything for us today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? Well, that leaves claims and payroll.
Move to approve claims and payroll.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve claims and payroll. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane.
Yeah, that's good.
motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 We're adjourned. Thank you all very much.